Okay. Hi, and welcome to this session. Today, it's myself and Adam. He's based in our offices in Prague, and he's a fellow African. And yeah, he's been assisting us in deploying Cloud Block Store on AWS and Azure in the Africa North region. And today, we would like to take you through some of our features and functionality. Over to you, Adam.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you for having me in your channel, and I'm happy to be part of the booming of Club Blockster in South Africa region. Let's dive into what we have in our agenda today.
Yeah, so just high level here. What we're going to discuss today is how we can assist you in saving money on your cloud journey, whether you're already in cloud or whether you are moving to cloud, how we can do this, and how we can provide you with the tools to maintain and manage your resources in cloud as you would your on-prem infrastructure that you are managing today.
And
So,
as you know, sorry, Chris. And as you
no,
know,
go for it.
there's there's a there's a there's a difference between when you're thinking about data, whether that be on the premises, on the cloud. Me and Chris, we have a lot of conversations. We have those conversations in our one-to-one. We have conversations with our customers and partners, trying to differentiate differences between resiliency, efficiencies, and also what's really matters for a lot of businesses is the cost considerations, right, Chris?
That's
So
correct.
in this quick video, we're going to try to highlight those differences into giving you what is the familiar use cases that you consider doing in the cloud when you think about your cloud journey or you migrate to the cloud fully. So one of this is resiliency, and resiliency depends um, on the premises. We have arrays that are high available. We have different rack units, and that's something that we can manage ourselves. But once you go to the cloud, this terminology is fundamentally different. You have different availability zones, you have regions, and then you have to think about efficiencies, which is what usually from a data perspective, it matters whether you paying for what you provision or you pay for what you're using, which the differences between thick and thin provisioning, and also all the data reduction capabilities that most of the on-premises array, among them the best flash array, have. So in talking about differences, what we usually, when we talk about cloud or native cloud services with our customers, they usually bring out all of those choices they have to make when they're deciding to migrate their mission critical workload, or they want just to do some diff testing in the cloud. Those trade-offs or choices are are many to think of, but to name a few, there is usually a differences between capacity and throughput, or capacity and performance in general. If you want to get a certain throughput for your disk, you have to get to a certain capacity. The relationship between those two are exponential, or let's keep it as a linear between capacity and IOPS and capacity and throughput. And then there's other features that most of the clustered workloads they need in the cloud or in anywhere. Those cluster workloads might need multi-attachment. They need snapshot capabilities in order to refresh your databases or to create multiple seeds or read replica, right? So most of those trade-offs are not available in every option. You might have an Ultra SSD in Azure that has fast capabilities but lacks the snapshots or copy data management. Um, so this is the reasons why we thought about those gaps in the public cloud, and we said, why not we bring pure storage data services to the public cloud to make it better? So the first thing comes in mind here is that we look at how we put together our Purity operating environment, all of the data efficiencies, all of the enterprise grade feature, and we wanted to deliver that to the cloud to put on top of what the cloud is actually offering. Here enters the Cloud Blockster. Cloud Blockster is fundamentally is a 100% software offer that you can spin up in your AWS account, which we already have on the South Africa region. This offer is just an extension of the Purity software environment that runs on FlashArray. Same features, seamless API, and also can support hyper mobility, means that your volumes that runs on a FlashArray can run on AWS by using any of our native replication that comes free once you obtain and once you deploy your array. But what we're really excited about in this video is our announcement of getting Cloud Block Store into the Microsoft regions in South Africa. This is a big deal. Me and Chris trying to make available for a long time now. And it's not only for it's not for one SKU. We have two models within our Cloud Block Store offer on Azure, and both are available today. And I'm going to be talking about those in a few seconds. Chris, why don't you tell us about the different models and different capacity?
Yeah, thanks, Adam. So as you'll see on AWS and Azure, we've got different sizes of Cloud Block Store available. They obviously use different resources on the relevant cloud provider, and they pretty much address a usable and an effective terabyte requirement. As you'll see, we've used 421, which is typical data reduction we see, and they're based on the controllers and on the type of storage that we use on the back end. Again, these are not cast in concrete. With our evergreen model, as you're aware, some of those customers are already taking advantage of evergreen. Once you select a model, we can non-disruptively upgrade from one to another. So you very well might want to start with something a bit smaller, like let's say a V10 on Azure or AWS, but through our non-disruptive upgrade process, you can upgrade your controllers and your infrastructure for your needs as they grow. Thanks, Adam. Let's jump to the next one.
Absolutely. And just to highlight, you mentioned a couple of models, and we recently announced the release 2 of our CBS model into Azure. The previous one, we're calling it V20MU, which is based on a different type of controllers, the DV3, with Ultra SSD managed disks on the backend. The new model is what we've tried to consider as the newer, better, cheaper, and more faster model based on premium V2 managed disks with different controller types. This is what we're calling the evergreen promise, what we actually now extend to the public cloud. Fundamentally, within Purity, back in the days when we've been doing FlashArray, we solved how Flash works. We optimize the Flash to bring the best of it to you, our customers, right? And we've done the same thing now with our offer in the public cloud by taking advantage of the newest Chinese features and services in the cloud and provide them to you. And this is part of this evergreen promise. So with the new model, you will be obtaining higher performance in terms of IOPS and bandwidth, and also getting up to 70% lower cost because of the different backend storage we're using. So it's not an or, like cost or performance, it's an and here. And just to give you a bit of what really matters for a lot of businesses is the cost savings that we can obtain when we're putting our Purity on top of the CBS, on top of the native Azure infrastructure, right? Because that's what CBS says. The break-even point here, or when we think about when the saving starts, is at 35 terabyte provision. Once you hit that point, all of your once you start like adding more data, your savings will grow exponentially. As you can see here, you can start 35 at 200 provision capacity. The savings are $170, and which is based on one of the this charts. It's just an estimation of one of the regions, I think, in the US. So as we mentioned, this is the first use case, the cost efficiencies, the savings you can obtain with by having Cloud Block Store to manage your block services and block storage in the cloud. There's many use cases, and each customer trying to find its own unique use case using Cloud Block Store. But what we mainly see from our field is that they're using it for DR, which means that you can fail over and fail back between your a hybrid model that extending your on-premises to the cloud. So disaster recovery is a main use case here. Other use cases is I can run my test dev on cloud resources. One of the cloud benefits is elasticity. So that the way you can scale up and scale down easily makes the cloud is a great place for doing your test dev environment or doing some hybrid analytics. You want to generate a monthly report or a weekly report, and then you don't have the compute infrastructure to do that on the premises. Why don't you extend that to the cloud? And the last thing I want to talk about here is cross-cloud data migrations. Preventing the lock-in. You don't need to put all the data in one basket and put that back and forth between managed services, on-premises, and cloud providers. To summarize, Cloud Block Store here is to make public cloud storage better. It's not about how we can make the cloud more efficient, but also how you can get the best out of the cloud block native services. We simplify the storage provisioning, but also we increase the adoption speed of cloud storage technologies. You can easily migrate. You can unblock all of your migration projects that you cannot think about how I can migrate them. Now you can do that using the native replication between FlashArrays and Cloud Block Store. Or you can have one Cloud Block Store, get your data there, and then you can start standing between availability zones and regions once you get to the cloud. The other benefits are not just to have a hybrid model or a multi-cloud model. It's how you can actually have a consistent experience wherever your data is, and not get your applications to stuck in inefficient storage options, or you don't have to rely on trade-offs. And that's actually the promise we're delivering to the public cloud. To learn more about what we do with Cloud Block Store, different references, architecture, or how to you migrate or replicate to the cloud, please use the QR code so you can get you to the landing page. From there, you can go to the marketplace where you can see the offer. You can actually try it out we have a free license for that for 44 days. But what's really important is to check and follow Chris' YouTube channel for more updates about what we're bringing to Pure Storage in South Africa.
Thank you, Adam. Yes, that's important. On my channel, I will keep posting information. We're about to launch some additional functionality with Azure VMware solution and Cloud Block Store. So please keep an eye open for that. Myself and Adam will cover that. We already have some customers using AWS and Azure services from a Cloud Block Store point of view, so we can have references. So again, just to reiterate what Adam's saying there, engage with your local SEAE team and keep an eye out on the media, and we'll keep you guys informed. Adam, thank you very much for joining, and appreciate all your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Till next time.
Till next time.